All right, blessings everyone. Welcome back. And I'm excited. We're going to get into some of the scientific testing we can do with, digital microscopes and testing the surface of artifacts to look at patina and aging. And what we're going to do is we're going to visually analyze these engravings and look deep into the patina that has formed across this whole piece. And the best way to analyze this would be to get a very close-up detailed look at all of the engravings, right? If you take a diamond bit tool or whatever tool you're using that's denser than the stone to cut it, then you're going to leave a fresh engraving into the stone itself. And what you're going to do is that's going to open up a part of the stone. The surface would have the original patina, and that engraving would open up a fresh part of that stone and would leave a very fresh opening. And in time, right, patina would form over that engraving, over the whole carving and everything, and we'd have a consistent patina that formed across every bit of this. Now, when you look at like a new carving, this is one that I actually did personally, and you look and examine those engravings, you can actually see up close how fresh it actually is. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. So even though the surface here has been polished, right? I engraved around that polished surface and inside there, and you can see it's hard to polish that area deep in there. So what do? You get a very fresh surface with no patina. And let's see if we can zoom in there and get a little bit better of a view. So you can see how fresh that truly looks. And it's really hard to actually polish inside the line of every piece or every engraving, right? So that's why this is a good way to examine an artifact, because if it was recently created, you'd start to find little areas where you don't have any of that age or patina. And also look, little buildups of minerals left behind from where I haven't even completely washed out all the cracks and crevices of this piece. So we'll go ahead and zoom back out a little bit and go ahead and look at this one a little bit more so you can understand what I'm talking about. We see a consistent, beautiful patina. We're going to zoom in right here because you can see there's a few little nicks and scrapes right on the nose. These are things I'm going to be looking at. And as I examine the stone as well, I look for little areas, intersecting points, really technical locations where you'd where you'd actually see that there's areas where patina would have been overlooked if you're trying to fake this or something. So we're going to go ahead and zoom in, and we're going to use a digital microscope. And another point I wanted to point out right here is, see this little location on this face right here. So somehow from this rock turning, it caught the edge and grinded, and something has scraped the patina off right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in and we're going to look at all these markings. We're going to see how this all looks to us, right? And I'm going to use the digital microscope, and we're going to go ahead and check out what patina looks like. I'll take you in a little bit closer so we can get a nice clean view, and we'll check out some of these artifacts here. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is look into all of these little crevices and say, is there any fresh engravings here? And I know there's that one part where it looked like the stone had been right here. Okay, so this is the exciting part. What we're going to do is we're first going to zoom in on, like I said, that little nick on the nose. We'll check out a few other little scratches that have occurred where we can actually see the patina scratched away. And then down here on one of these faces, I think right there, a consistent spot where this stone must have rubbed up against something, and a lot of that patina looks like it rubbed off right there. So we'll go ahead and just zoom in on the nose a little bit. I think you'll be able to see through this process. And right there, you can actually see the tip of the nose. And there's that deep scrape right there up close where you can see that fresh white, right? And then over to the left here on this glyph, you could see this really direct scratch. This is almost looks really recent. Something must have happened to this, you know, but you could see this beautiful age and patina all around it. You can see the weathering of the stone and how it all looks. And it looks very much aged. And when you end up running into a location where you find that fresh scratch, you see it. It really stands out. So now that we see it right here, let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit more, right? There's a nick right there on the corner of the nose as well, down below, right up top. And so let's see what happens when we zoom in a little bit closer. You can get an idea of how fresh that looks, right? You can see the inner workings of the stone itself now have been carved away and a fresh surface is there, right? And it's a rough surface too. It hasn't been polished in any way, but look all around it and you can see all this beautiful age and patina, right? So now we're going to jump over to another area. Let's zoom out again. Okay, let's go to all those little fractal faces right here. See that area? Right there, right in the middle. That's the area I'm talking about. All this beautiful aging around this. Look at this amazing patina. Look at this time and energy and the way a patina forms. You know, there's many different ways, but it happens through weathering, through heat, through temperature, through contact to soil. You know, all these different things that are mineral rich that will affect the surface of anything, right? If you leave it outside and it gets weathered. But, you know, also when rain comes over it or any ways that, you know, water has gathered minerals, right? Water is very mineral rich. And so throughout time, when that mineral rich water passes over something, you know, that surface is going to start to pick up on those minerals, right? Because when that water evaporates, it leaves behind, you know, very, very thin layers of, you know, silica and, you know, calcite and different magnesiums form, right? Manganese, different types of minerals that will actually create a crystalline, you know, surface layer. And so what you see here is just age, just time, right? And you could fake patinas as well, right? That's what we even do. You create a major patina when you carve a stone or, you know, you polish a stone. Even as of now, we use, you know, cerium oxide and different things that will actually heat up the outer layer of the stone and make it crystal clear. It creates almost like a perfect skin over the crystal. And I'm just further analyzing just scrolling around this piece because you can really see the age. And when you look at these areas that are dark, they're still filled with dirt, but you could see the patina is really rich all through this thing. And what I'm looking for is little cracks in areas where, you know, they may, if someone did fake this, they may have slipped up. Did they accidentally not, you know, put some dye in a certain area and you have yourself some fresh engravings. But as you can see, this patina is consistent throughout the piece, even into these little detailed areas. And when you look up close at this piece, look at the high detail that is all through this. There's extreme detail right here. There's multiple different faces coming together at one point, and deep down inside those engravings, you can see a beautiful, consistent patina. And the patina we're looking for, you want it consistent throughout the stone, right? The actual surface right here, and also consistent through those deep engravings right there, all the way through. And that's what you see. So this is amazing. Right here, I think from my scientific analysis, I would say that this has a certificate of authenticity. You know, I would put a certificate on this one and say we have actually analyzed and validated the age and patina all the way through. And we also see there's an artistic signature as well of these artifacts. So that's one right there. That's this one that we've been examining up close. And as you can see, these amazing details. I'm going to zoom in right one more time on the patina and aging and all the beautiful colors that we have here, just so you can get a good idea. And we'll race around and look at a few more of these detail areas. Maybe we'll look at some of the glue locations, right? The adhesive areas right here, where the organic adhesive is used to glue in these sacred stones. So we'll race around a little bit more, and then we'll get to the next piece. So right away, I want to look at the color tones here. I know we already did kind of check that out, but look at how deep these colors are and how consistent they are through these deep engravings. Right there, all through it. Another point right here. Look at that. This is such beautiful, confirmation right here, because we see such a deep, that's like the stone itself is so porous that it took in so much of that mineral rich fluid, whatever it was, and we see a really deep patina that's saturated into the stone. So you see, that's just unbelievable, the beauty when you start to examine the detail. They say it's the fingerprint of its timeline, right? The patina, it's this beautiful fingerprint left behind by time. Here we'll race around and just check a little bit more of the surface and this amazing patina that we see and aging all through the stone. So this is amazing. And look at these deep engravings right here that could have been left behind with some tool marks, but they're still, every groove is filled with that consistent patina, that surface crystallization that we see throughout the whole piece. There's the nose again. You instantly see a fresh engraved location, right? Look at that. You could see it. It stands out on the surface of that as a fresh marking. So that's what patina is, right? And let's get in there and look at these stones that have been set with some form of organic adhesive, and let's look for any telltale signs that we see, any new engravings. Or a lot of the times the topic is, was it even possible that they did set, a new gemstone into an old artifact? All of that is very possible. But a lot of what we like to look at too is the micro details that you see, because I think that they had a highly advanced form of technology in how they were engraving these stones, and some of the marks that you actually see are so fine, such fine details. That's kind of, I don't even know if I even have had access to the right tools to create that type of detail yet. Okay, so here is a piece that I created as a lapidary artist, inspired by the artifacts, and also to test and show people what it looks like when you examine a artifact or a stone and want to see what fresh engravings look like. What does a stone look like when I've just carved into it with a diamond Dremel bit tool? And so we'll go ahead and we'll get in there and we'll see if we can see the consistency throughout the piece, or what do we notice. So right away, I'm going to jump in there and I'm going to show you what it looks like, this fresh engraving. And notice how sharp it is. Notice how these lines are so clean and sharp. They haven't been weathered. Nothing has affected this yet. The stone, since I carved it, is just fresh. So those lines, look how deep and straight and perfect they are. A patina, you're gonna, in a certain amount of time, hundreds, thousands of years of dirt and weather and wind and water and all these acidic things from Mother Nature eating away at it, you're going to see that those sharp edges will no longer be consistent in any way, because that's what weathering is. That's what happens to the stone. This one, sharp edges all over it, right? And you can actually see the surface down in there. Let's zoom in even more. There's different things you can actually analyze when you get more powerful microscope technology, and you analyze these with more powerful microscopes. This is just a simple digital microscope, but you can actually start to see debris and stuff that is left behind by the tool. You can see little bits of material, and there's different things that you can analyze to understand what tools they use to create it, whether or not debris was left behind from the tool itself. Sometimes they can confirm whether it was carved with obsidian. There's different ways you can analyze the piece. But first thing we're looking at is just those sharp edges and the patina and consistency we see here of that fresh stone that's been carved into with no age, no patina. And deep, perfect straight lines. See those deep caverns where you can see perfect, consistent. Look at that corner edge, not even chipped yet. So that's how sharp those lines look all the way through this piece, right? Because I hadn't put any time into getting in there and polishing those little areas. And, you know, not many people do. Once you create an engraving in a stone, it's hard to go back and you watch it, you can't. There's not really a polishing, you know, bit that's that small that will get into those types of little engraving markings. So there's different techniques that you can actually do to polish those micro surfaces, but it's highly advanced technology, you know, but I believe that they had advanced technology that far surpasses us in what we have as of now. So that's a quick look at these two pieces just to show you, right, what's going on with patina. You could pretty much see right here what a fresh stone looks like and what an aged stone looks like with patina right here. But once again, we'll get back in there and just to do a last quick look in at those sharp edges that I'm talking about. And notice how every edge is all chipped out and has this color to it, right? There's all that, look at that, the edges no longer exist. It's this rounded out kind of engraving now. And every one of these little scratches is all covered with patina, right? And the moment you see a fresh scratch, it stands out because this stone is completely covered in patina. I mean, look at that. Age and patina and a sacred surface that's, you know, crystallized and has been acid etched into it. And look at that beautiful, beautiful color shifting throughout the piece and just showing a beautiful fingerprint of time. You know, a visual artistic signature of time. Anyways, that's exciting. Blessings. Thanks for watching. If you liked our video, give it a thumbs up and share. Appreciate you all.